Good evening and welcome along to Business Today. A happy new month of March to you, our viewers of Smart 24 TV. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko with Winnie Wins and Akauti on sign language, and we're coming to you live from Plot 42, Nile Avenue. But first, a look at our top stories.
In Business Today, President Museveni and Cyril Ramaphosa agree on trade growth investment summit to spur revenues beyond $130 million as of 2022. NSSF report draws line in the sand, demand for Betty Amongi's resignation over mismanagement of office. Insurance Regulatory Authority, insurers and brokers are set to realize industrial growth in annual Insurance Week endeavors.
And now we start with the annual Insurance Week. With the new changes in the insurance industry in Uganda, the Insurance Regulatory Authority is to conduct the annual Insurance Week, which is dedicated to sensitizing and educating Ugandans on matters insurance. This will bring together all licensed insurance players to physically interact with the business community and in turn stimulate the demand for the industry. And Naomi Mutumba was there, and this is what she gathered.
Uganda's insurance industry is predicted to register positive growth, largely driven by increased investments in infrastructure, oil and gas, and increased private sector lending. With over $10 billion set aside for investment in the oil and gas sector, alongside other investments in agriculture, services and manufacturing, the industry has an opportunity to register significant growth. The Insurance Regulatory Authority is to conduct the Insurance Awareness Week. This is to address risk management, which is the underlying factor of the insurance industry. Yet businesses need to be taken care of through creating awareness about the insurance industry in Uganda. But what steps are being taken by the regulators?
The regulator, we have improved and increased our budget to ensure that we go to the entire country at different levels. So we have different teams which are going around the entire country to ensure that at least people are made aware of what they ought to get.
With the COVID-19 effects and the back-to-school challenges, this is an opportunity for the public to engage closely with the insurance companies and also focus on different sectors through interaction and getting to know the relevance of insurance.
And of course, having come from episodes of COVID, I'm sure that all of us out there are able to appreciate the relevancy of insurance. And of course, it's all evident that now that parents have just taken back their children to school, things like savings become very important for families. And of course, in the life perspective, you'll appreciate that insurance provides solutions through which any individual in this country can start as low as 50,000 shillings on a monthly basis and ultimately be able to pay for their children's future in terms of education.
So this will give us an opportunity to engage the public, but also to listen, because as the Insurance Training College, our mandate is to professionalize all the people or all the employees who work within the insurance sector. But this is a time where we're going to take advantage of engaging the public to listen and to see if there has been any challenges, how we can improve ourselves as a college, and how we can improve the workforce within the industry.
As we well know, we would like to increase on the engagement when it comes to insurance. We do have a lot of members out there in the public that have challenges, but challenges that they end up carrying on their own. And yet, the insurers or the insurance industry on this other side has got solutions for most of those challenges. So what makes this week critical or important for the general public is that you get an avenue, a one-stop center where you can come and be listened to by the insurance industry.
During the Insurance Awareness Week, only licensed insurance operators and key stakeholders will be able to provide information on how Ugandans can better protect themselves from the unforeseen risks, and the industry will give back to the community through corporate social responsibility.
We do give back to the community, and this is done through the corporate social responsibility duties. Several activities have been lined up for the event and during this week. These include blood donation, free eye checkups, medical camp, free consultations on all insurance-related matters, among others.
Just like any other financial organization like the banks, insurance companies also experienced losses due to the pandemic. The insurance companies have remained resilient, however, because of the financial help from the Central Bank of Uganda.
Conditions that were relaxed for specific sectors of the economy when it came to handling loans, and all those were intended to help the banking sector cope. And indeed, I think the sector has coped because COVID-19 took place over the last 2 years. You've not seen a bank closing, which means that the sector is doing well. The Bank of Uganda is doing its part in trying to ensure that the financial sector remains sound.
To expand its base, the insurance industry has been on an innovation journey that has been bringing some profits back. Bank Assurance, a new distribution channel, has an 18% growth and is now a key driver for the industry. New products such as agriculture insurance have helped the industry grow. These and the adoption of technology have helped the industry register better growth. Naomi Mtumba, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, now let's talk matters the Karamoja Iron Sheet saga. The minister in charge of Karamoja Affairs, Honorable Mary Chitundu, today appeared before the Presidential Affairs to explain circumstances surrounding the issue of misappropriation of relief items for the Karamoja region. She asked the committee to give her more time to give her side of the story. We have more in this report.
The two ministers in charge of Karamoja Affairs, Honorable Mary Kitutu and Honorable Agnes Nandutu, both appeared before the committee to explain why they diverted the iron sheets which were meant for the vulnerable people in Karamoja and gave them to their fellow ministers who are not vulnerable.
Let this country know that there was no provision for the minister either directly to get 3,000 iron sheets to benefit as an individual, or for us to have a specific budget to donate. We are just dealing with a person of lack of integrity.
The legislators asked the two ministers to explain the criteria that was used to allocate iron sheets and goats to some sub-regions of Karamoja, as well as the ministers who received them.
For the launch, and now we are seeing more information that iron sheets got distributed in the region. Which one is the truth? Did you do it alone? The district chairpersons, the cows were all here. Is it from the same source, or it is the one for the affirmative action program which we always budget for?
Before Minister Mary Kitutu could give her submission, the committee ordered the State Minister, Honorable Agnes Nandutu, to first excuse herself and leave her senior minister to first give her submission. However, when it was time for the minister to address questions from the committee, she requested for more time so that she could provide facts supported by evidence, which the committee approved.
Let's meet on Friday.
Prior to that, the committee met with the Honorable Matia Kasaijo, the Minister of Finance, who was very explicit in telling the legislators that he did not request the iron sheets and had no idea that they were intent for the Karamoja region. Furthermore, he told the committee that he is willing to return all the iron sheets that were still at his residence. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
And now let's talk matters oil and gas. Compensation is a vital part of the development process, especially when it does involve the displacement of people from their homes and land. In Hoima, this has been the case for many residents and landowners who have had to give up their property to make way for various development projects, such as the construction of the oil refinery. In this report, Bronia Gatosime brings you the compensation progress in the oil and gas sector.
In October 2018, the Uganda National Oil Company secured 300 acres of raw land in Namwabula village. This resulted to 761 households relocated for the facilitation of the oil project activities. Unlike other projects, this has seen some truth. The government came out and started compensating the people who lost both their businesses and homes due to the oil projects. The government has promised to ensure that this is a fair and transparent process.
So we are contracted to work with 3,990 PAP households. Like I said, we have people whose livestock was affected, or crops or trees, so we are trying to restore their lives. So when we are working with the PAP household, we restore, or we give a service, or we give a package of what was affected.
The progress of, for instance, resettling project affected persons and compensating them, and this process has been going on progressively. We have not seen any abuse of human rights here. For instance, what was being claimed by some people, that people have been forcefully evicted. No, that's not true.
Replacement of land is offered to landowners who have been displaced from their property. It also ensures that the new region favors the agricultural output of the displaced people by training them on how to manage the new location. This creates a ripple effect that could benefit local farmers and communities.
We've also trained now in things like agriculture best practices. So we partnered with Stanbic Incubator. And the whole purpose of partnering with Stanbic Incubator was so that our community people can get that kind of best practice agriculture to tap into what's going on right now. Using small spaces, growing quality foods, being able to get an off-taker to buy their food and sell it to their camps and sell it to the people who require food. So because the oil and gas sector is very, very keen on standards, these people had to be trained. The standard is required when they are farming are totally different.
For primary residents who have been displaced from their homes, the government provides them with alternative housing of equal or greater value of their original home. This is a crucial part of the compensation process, as it ensures that residents have a new place to call home and can continue with their lives without much disruption.
Total came here and trained us on farming. They came, mobilized us and trained us. They trained us on how to plant our cassava and crops. The new idea on how to plant cassava was much better than how we were planting before. In the past, we would just vertically plant our cassava stems. Later on, when we got trained, we were trained on how to plant cassava by planting the stems horizontally. And it has come out really good.
After being compensated by Total, we thought it was done for us. But we were very happy that Total still came back and took us for training. And right now we are able to move in different sites looking for.
Monthly compensation is also offered to those who have been displaced. The amount of compensation is determined by the valuation of the property and is based on its market value, through the government establishing a formula for calculating the compensation amount. Bernia Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Away from that, the government allocated 150 billion shillings for the compensation of victims of the 16-year conflict in northern Uganda. However, the delayed compensation of these war victims in Teso sub-region has raised concerns among the parliament representatives of Soroti district, stating that this was unfair and quite discriminatory. We have more in this report.
Members of Acholi Ward Debt Claimants Association have raised concerns to the parliament representatives of Soroti district due to the delay of raising the promised funds to compensate the war victims. They have criticized government's handling of the situation, saying it is unfair and discriminatory.
In respect to the delayed compensation of the people of Teso, we told you very clearly here that government is doing the compensation with discrimination. Government compensated Acholi, compensated Lango, is compensating West Nile. When it comes to the issues of Teso, government through the Attorney General has run to court to appeal the judgment of the High Court of 2018. This is 5 years later after the High Court made the judgment that the people of Teso be compensated for the lives lost.
In September 2021, government allocated 150 billion Ugandan shillings to pay war victims in the northern region, with each region anticipating receiving 50 billion. The funds, however, have not yet reached the designated recipients, even though the budget was released months ago. This has caused worry among the survivors and their advocates because many survivors have been waiting for years to get compensation for the crimes they witnessed during the conflict.
That 150 billion had been released with the 50 billion for each sub-region. The president here took photos, issued dummy checks in Isoroti. The whole Teso was listening for a whole day. Compensation started. The unfortunate thing about the compensation that commenced is that a few people were being compensated with the 70,000, the 200,000, which has turned to be a joke in the Teso sub-region. The Teso sub-region, people are wondering, what part of a cow does the 70,000 buy? Is it the hoof, is it the tail, or what?
Government is expected to act swiftly to ensure that the funds are disbursed to the victims who have been waiting for too long to receive their compensation. It is also urged to work with the victims and relevant authorities to ensure that their claims are verified and processed in a timely and effective manner.
No wonder that's why the compensation of Teso is dragging. His Excellency should move faster and do it now. In fact, should have done it yesterday to have Kafusi out of that office. Because bringing a disgrace to that office is bringing a disgrace to the president. It's going to make the president lose votes in Teso.
The delay in disbursing the compensation funds underscores the need for greater transparency and accountability in the management of public funds in Uganda. Government must ensure that these funds allocated for compensation are used for their intended purpose and that the survivors receive the support they need to rebuild their lives after the conflict. Mathoni Msima, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Today we'll continue after the break with more reports as well as the coffee court discussions.
Smart 24, driving business.